Welcome back, dear viewers, to Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We are Grumbletooth. Started off as a fighter, worshipping Machleb, currently. Don't worry, dear viewers, you didn't miss anything between the last video and this video. I did exactly one action, which was accidentally descending the stairs that I was standing on. So, virtually no time has passed. We can just kill this necromancer and... Ooh, fire giant skeleton. This is actually a reasonable... If the fire giant skeleton can do damage to us, which it didn't seem to be able to, particularly. I mean, we already know that giants in general are tough. Our encounter with the frost giant a little while ago left us battered and bruised. So, fire giants are not going to be any easier. We do have on a ring of protection from fire, just cause. I could be wearing a ring of slaying +6. Well, it's +0 +6, but still. Could be boosting my damage instead, but I think it's more prudent to... Oh. I thought I killed that mage, but I did not. Ogre Magi are really only scary for hasting things, and yeah. Not too tough. They would be tough if we weren't just a juggernaut. 27 evasion, 29 armor class. That's not really juggernaut stats. I take that back. I had a character once with, I think, 50 armor class. It was a little excessive. Boop. I believe he will complete his word of recall. Maybe not. Oh, there's a fire giant. Swell. Break line of sight here so he doesn't just bolt of fire us a bunch. Yay, friendly demon. Oh, and he's mited up. Obnoxious. Ow. We lost our last scroll of magic mapping. Really? Well, we don't need it too much, to be honest. Whoo! A lot of guys in here. Let's, back around the corner and... oftentimes you'll see things wield weapons from the ground. I like it when that happens. Ow. Ah, frost giants. So painful. I'm just trying to, yeah, bash him down and hope that Machleb will keep us healthy. And, what is this? The dead are walking. Let's beat a retreat here. We're taking a lot of damage. I didn't like that situation much. Let's do that. Now that we've killed that particular giant. Oh. Let's try one of these other staircases, see where they lead. Okay. Ooh, a runed plate armor. Let's use one of our numerous scrolls of identify to check it out. It could be good. And not as nearly as good as what we're using. This scale mail of the forgotten ships. It's really good. I like it. Oh, there's the entrance to the Hall of Blades. Probably. Yeah. Yay, we beat up a vampiric halberd floating through the air. Yeah, they're getting rid of the Hollow Blades. I don't mind. Hollow Blades is boring. Just a bunch of animated weapons that usually aren't very good. Yikes! Yikes! Oh dear, ow. Oh, that's what incaution gets me. Whew. Iron shot for 50 plus damage. Boris is an ancient lich. With some really strong spells. Oh dear. Well, We can't break line of sight immediately. Good, he didn't cast another spell and kill us. He decided to step forward instead. Let's close this door. Heal up a bit. Ooh. Liches in general are tough. Boris, particularly so. Do we not have See Invisible? Oh, we do. Good. Alright, standing right next to him, we at least have a chance. Bolt of Cold misses us. I don't really want to spend the turn to switch to the ring of Resist Cold. Ugh. We're hitting him, we're just not dealing damage. I mean, there's a little bit, but... Ow. Ugh, so painful. Just bolts cold for days. The various bolt spells can't be blocked by shields either. It's what makes them particularly dangerous to us. He touches us. Does no damage. Probably has a draining touch. At least we can block his orbs of destruction. Yeah, these zombies are not doing anything. Alright, we almost got him. Whew! Not that it's all that much of a relief, because you can't permanently kill Boris. He has a chance of respawning on another level of the dungeon. It's really rough. Man, that was a scary fight. Started off with a blunder. This will probably be my... Well, this will definitely be my last video of the evening. Let's put it that way. Bleh. We don't need no magical power. Let's eat this random fruit that we have lying around in our inventory. Good, he didn't banish us. Not all wizards can banish you. There's a, I think 1 in 4, maybe 1 in 5 chance, depending on which spellbook they happen to possess. We can just run into these orcs and just clobber them down. Slice our way through them. That would have been a really unpleasant staircase to climb down. Hello, here are 12 orcs. In your face. Alright, let's be smarter about this than we have been. Let's not just, like, run willy-nilly into every situation. Yeah. The orc sorcerer needed to die first. Just slightly more dangerous, I think. Like, the Convoker could have summoned more things, sure, but that sorcerer had a chance of actually damaging us. Fortunately, we're not having too many problems healing back up after these fights. Ooh, what wands do we have left to identify? It's probably polymorph. Oh, enslavement. Okay. Well, we'll hang on to it. I mean, we'll use it a few times fruitlessly on enemies that don't really matter. I think they're redoing hexes as well in 0.15. And hex-type effects. So that they're actually useful past, you know, dungeon level 5 or whatever. I exaggerate slightly, but not too much. Fire dragons hurt. Elemental effects in general are just really brutal to us. Because we have so few resistances. That is something that we really want more of. Fire resistance especially. I mean, we just straight up cannot reach the Orb of Zot without 2 pips of fire resistance. It's just not doable. Orbs of fire will tear us to shreds in a heartbeat. If if we're working with even just one like singular pip of fire resistance, we will last no time whatsoever. Oh, baby alligators. Baby alligators are not all that scary, but they're often accompanied by a is vulnerable to silver and hated by Zin? It's just an alligator. It's a baby alligator. Oh, it's a baby alligator shapeshifter. Okay. Alligators commit errors of diet? What? Crocodilus mississippiensis. Interesting. Yeah, crocodiles and alligators are actually very, very different creatures. And this certainly holds true for Krull, where crocodiles are not very scary. Alligators are extremely scary. Give a lot of respect to alligators, because they will just bite you to death. Doi, 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 doi. That's interesting. I was using the tab key to attack there, and I think it... I mean, it moved us towards the Convoker, or the Warden, or whatever it was. I guess because it was stronger. Oh, I don't like being able to hit this boggart directly. Good, it didn't decide to summon a whole bunch of nasty things. This would be kind of a cool little mini vault, except that there's nothing in it. So boring. Oh, great sword of flaming somewhere. What is the base damage on a great sword? 16? But we'd have to give up our shield. I don't think it's worth it. I've really been digging this shield as far as its defensive capabilities. Let's go back to that Yaktar corpse and eat it. I didn't see it the first time around, but yeah, this shield has saved our bacon on many an occasion. Another shapeshifter, huh? We will put on. Is 6 damage better than 5 dexterity? That's a good question. Probably not. Because of the evasion and the shields. Yeah. Straight up dexterity has to be better. I wasn't super enthused about just waiting for him to reach us, but I didn't want to walk into a bunch of enemies just out of our line of sight. Oh, we can go back to... We could just keep on one of those elemental rings at all times and just have a 50-50 in general. But I don't know, the extra damage is something I like a lot. Ah, draining. So much draining. We feel stronger. Alright. Not the best, but it's fine. Doesn't hurt us, certainly, and higher strength helps with our shields, our armor. Here we have Dithmenos, oh, this is Iridellum Newell. The altar looks very similar to the altar of Dithmenos. And Kikobakudka. Iridellum Newell is sort of, if you don't want to put points into necromancy, Kikobakudka is if you do want to put points into necromancy. That's basically the difference between those. They're both good gods, they just both involve summons. And so I rarely worship them. It's been a long time since I've... Ah, jeez. Just so much destruction of our stuff. No respect for us. Fortunately, we really don't need many of these resources. I mean, I would hate for our Scrolls of Blinking to catch fire. That's about it. Even then, we have the spell Blink that can be used sort of. Not super reliably, but not, you know. It's not a super huge gamble, it's just a little bit of a gamble. We never want to use it when we're in the direst of straits, but we can use it. Prior to that, another bookstore. Gosh. Whew, I feel like I'm complaining a lot about these bookstores. It's fine, really. We actually have encountered an unusually large number of shops, I think, this game. More shops than I normally see. Yeah, that's a bunch of shops. Nearly 20 shops. The fact that half of them are bookstores really shouldn't bother me. I don't know. I just feel like if they'd all been antique shops, we would be fully kitted out by now instead of, you know. Oh, I forgot about these boots of jumping. Might try those out in one of these fights. I mean, I need to use the ability, or else there's no reason for me to be wearing them over our just +1 boots of whatever. Let's check out the Hollow Blades, and then I'll probably go to bed. Oh, there are actually enemies in here this time. Hell Knights. Interesting. Very interesting. I think they're resistant to fire. It is immune to fire. Not merely resistant. Okay, let's review. It's up to the fair young maiden to rescue the dragon from the fire-breathing knights in shining armor. I don't know who Exearn is, or what Exearn is, but it seems interesting. That's kind of a funny quote. What's a flame? And there was a unique down there that I didn't quite catch what it was. I think we can just say forget it to the Hollow Blades. Yeah. Don't want to mess with it. We'll just do another level of ults. It was unlikely that we were going to find anything particularly good for us in there anyway. Sour grapes, I know, but I've never been impressed with the Hollow Blades. Oh good, we got rid of our draining. That's nice. Yeah, we're just plowing our way through all this popcorn. I guess that stone giant isn't popcorn, but all this other stuff is. There are macros or scripts or whatever that if you auto explore, it also automatically sacrifices things, which is cool. I just haven't bothered to I haven't bothered to look it up and implement it. But it seems really useful for just so many elemental enemies when we are so very, very weak against them. Though we seem to be bashing things pretty well. Maybe I will keep on an elemental thing. I don't know that this... Ooh, especially against a fire crab. Ow, ow, ow. Well, that ring did us right, for sure. A crystal guardian. They're rough. Bolts of fire and cold, etc. It's our #1 priority, certainly. Let's... Yeah. Perfect time to use Blink. Like, not in immediate danger of our lives, but in a physical location that is very disadvantageous to us. There we go. Machleb healing us up a little bit. Crystal statues, or crystal guardians, are just really resistant to physical damage. That and the fact that there was a preserver there was why it took us so very long to kill it. We're doing all right though. I mean, that was a dangerous situation that we didn't approach with a great deal of caution, and we still came out at full health. So, yeah, forgive me for being a little overconfident. I feel that it's well earned at this point. Again, I'd like more armor class, but that's mostly, I mean, armor class beyond what we have now is just gravy, pretty much. 29 is very, very reasonable for where we are. Yeah, I mean, you'll notice that only only elemental sources of damage are hitting us with any significant amounts of damage. Like regular physical attacks, even the rocks thrown by the giants are not really doing all that much to us. Skeletons, not scary. Simulacra are... They can be scary, especially if you're not prepared for what it is. Gosh, our scrolls are just getting shred through. One of our scrolls of blinking is gone. I really want to try out 0.15. I have not seen anything about it that I really disapprove of yet. Pretty sure. They're adding a couple of new gods, too, which is always fun. And I don't know if it was 0.13 or 0.14, but Dithmenos is relatively new. The god of shadows. I do want to go back to my stabber at some point who worships Dithmenos and play around with that a little bit more. Dithmenos is sort of a non-spellcaster's stealthy type character god. If you want to, he lets you sort of like step through shadows and stuff, which is really neat. It lets you close distances a lot better, especially since stealth has been pretty heavily nerfed from early versions of the game. Like 0.10 and earlier, kind of early. I mean, it used to be that with just a few points, I mean, if you focus stealth, you could basically sneak up on everything in the entire game without any difficulty. And you could just, you know, pick and choose which enemies to kill as you traipse your way down to the orb. Like, pick your fights all the time. Stealth used to be very, very, very good. Now, until you reach very high levels of stealth, it's pretty common for things to wake up as you approach them. So you can't abuse it as much as before. But I think that's a balance and not a, you know, not an unnecessary nerf. A Ring of Fire, we don't want that. Rings of Fire can be good for elemental spellcasters. They give you a rank of fire resistance, reduce your cold resistance by 1 rank, but then they also... And it dampens your cold spells, increases the power of your fire spells. So, you know, if you're a fire mage, they're fine, especially early on when you're lacking in. Ooh, we found 2 potions of Cure Mutation. I am immediately going back to our stash and dropping those off. Because I don't want to risk them breaking. If we encounter another frost giant or something. And, you know I'm not done with that particular level of the vaults, but I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. My sleep supplements are beginning to kick in, and I'm getting a little bit tired. I think if I kept playing, I would stumble into something and die. Let's brand this sword. Branding actually damages you when you do it to things, so... the first time you brand a weapon, it will turn into just Vorpal, which is it's additional physical damage up to 30% of the base. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Because nothing resists it. However, it's not really good because it's not super effective against anything. Okay, so 4 fewer dexterity. We lose 3 points of evasion and a point of shielding. I don't think that's worth it just yet. If we find another scroll of brand weapon, we can use it on that again. If it doesn't have a brand, it gives it Vorpal. So slicing, crushing, chopping, whatever the case may be. And a second, or using a scroll of branding on a weapon that already has a brand, as we did at one point with this Scimitar of Chaos, switches up the brand to some random other brand. I think it's weighted towards freezing and flaming. By the way, dear viewers, I'm not encountering any more monsters this video. If you want to tune out, thank you for watching this far, and I hope you have a good evening. If you want to hear me continue to ramble about stash stuff, feel free to stick around. But I will not be offended if you leave. So, brand... Brand weapon. Scroll of brand weapon. Currently, brand weapon also you can direct which brand will be applied if you have one of the weapon enchantment spells, such as fire, whatever, flaming, lethal infusion, that sort of thing. The one exception is pain. You cannot affix pain to a weapon unless you worship Kikubakudka, and his final piety thing lets you. He either gives you the Necronomicon, which contains some very, very powerful necromancy spells, or he will brand one of your weapons with pain, which is a percent hit point. I think it's percent hit point. Maybe it's just straight up damage, but it's very good against living creatures. It's completely useless against undead and demons. So, good early game, bad in the extended end game. Like, the Hells and Pandemonium are just stuffed full of demons and undead. Very, very difficult to proceed to them if you don't have a way of dealing with those reliably. So, okay, if you use a scroll of branding on a weapon, there is a 20% chance of flaming, 20% chance of freezing, 13.5% chance of venom, 10% chance of draining, vorpal, and electrocution, although it will not rebrand it the same brand, so I don't think. Maybe it can. Electrocution 10%. Protection 8%. Vampiric is only 5.5%. Chaos is 2%. So that Scimitar of Chaos that we ended up with is actually really unusual. That's kind of cool. Anyway, when you brand a weapon, it does cause a backlash of the associated element. So don't do it in combat if you're, having trouble or whatever. You can't use it on weapons that have been blessed by the Shining One, interestingly. You get blasted by Cleansing Flame. Huh. Sorry, I'm just reading things from the wiki at you now. I am certainly very tired. So I believe I will retire for the evening, and I hope that you have a fun time crawling yourself, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.